They were born between the late 1990s and early 2010s. They've never known a world without the internet. They're digital natives, social media connoisseurs, and champions of diversity. And now they're taking over your office. Welcome to AI Pulse, where we decode the future, one breakthrough at a time. In today's deep dive, we're exploring how Gen Z is fundamentally transforming the US workplace, from communication to culture, expectations to ethics. If you think this is just about avocado toast or TikTok trends, think again. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how your workplace is evolving and why it may never be the same again. Let's start with the basics. Gen Z, also known as Zoomers, typically refers to individuals born between 1997 and 2012. That means the oldest Zoomers are now in their mid to late 20s, with millions already in the workforce. Unlike millennials, who grew up during the rise of the internet, Gen Z has been immersed in technology since birth. They've grown up with smartphones, streaming, social media, and instant gratification as a norm. But it's not just their tech savviness that sets them apart. This is the most ethnically diverse, socially progressive, and mental health conscious generation in modern US history. Unlike previous generations who prioritized job security and loyalty, Gen Z values flexibility, purpose, and personal growth. According to Deloitte's Global Gen Z survey, over 60% of Gen Z employees say they'd leave a job that doesn't align with their values. And those values? Think diversity, inclusion, sustainability, and mental well-being. They're more likely to choose employers who take a stand on social issues, from climate change to racial justice. Gen Z isn't afraid to ask hard questions. What's your company's carbon footprint? How do you support LGBTQ+ employees? What's your policy on burnout? Gen Z is not just working for a paycheck, they're working for a purpose. They want to make a meaningful impact, even in entry-level roles. In fact, many are willing to take a pay cut to work for companies that align with their beliefs. This mindset has led to a surge in mission-driven startups, nonprofits, and even side hustles with a cause. If the job doesn't feel like it's contributing to a bigger picture, Gen Z is likely to bounce. They want authenticity, not lip service, from their employers. For Gen Z, email is basically the new fax machine. They prefer tools like Slack, Discord, WhatsApp, and yes, even TikTok for corporate communication. Gen Z's communication style is fast, informal, and often filled with emojis, memes, and GIFs. This has forced many organizations to rethink how teams collaborate. But here's the twist, this isn't just about fun. It's about efficiency and authenticity. Gen Z wants real-time feedback, clear direction, and two-way conversations. They're also more comfortable giving feedback upward, challenging hierarchies that once defined corporate America. Gen Z has rebranded work-life balance into something deeper, work-life integration. They expect flexible schedules, hybrid or remote options, mental health days, and a workplace that respects their time. Many grew up watching their millennial parents burn out in 9-to-5 grind culture. They've learned from that, and now they're setting boundaries early. Gen Z doesn't equate hustle with success, they equate alignment with success. This has influenced HR policies nationwide, from unlimited PTO to 4-day workweeks to mental wellness stipends. Gen Z is the first generation to talk openly, and demand action, on mental health in the workplace. According to McKinsey, nearly 75% of Gen Z workers report experiencing mental health challenges in the past year. They want therapy benefits, mindfulness programs, and leadership that leads with empathy. Companies that ignore this are seeing sky-high turnover rates. The new workplace culture demands transparency, compassion, and human-centered leadership. For Gen Z, the 9-to-5 is just one piece of the puzzle. Many have side hustles, from content creation to freelancing to reselling, not out of boredom, but for financial freedom and creative expression. Platforms like TikTok and YouTube have empowered Gen Z to build personal brands and monetize their passions. This has redefined the employer-employee relationship. Employers now compete not just with other companies, but with individual ambition. If your job doesn't support flexibility, Gen Z might just build their own path. Gen Z expects real diversity, equity, and inclusion, not performative statements. They want to see representation at every level, from interns to the C-suite. They demand inclusive language, equitable pay, and transparent policies. This is also the most gender-fluid and identity-aware generation, pushing for pronoun normalization, accessible workplaces, and anti-racism training. Companies failing to meet these standards are quickly labeled outdated, and Gen Z is not afraid to call it out publicly. Raised on smartphones and AI-powered platforms, Gen Z expects workplaces to keep up with cutting-edge tech. They're fluent in using automation, AI tools, and collaborative platforms like Notion, Figma, ChatGPT, and Miro. Clunky legacy systems? Hard pass. They want frictionless digital experiences, and they want to help build them. Gen Z also understands the power and pitfalls of AI, demanding ethical tech policies and digital upskilling opportunities. Traditional leadership models don't resonate with Gen Z. They prefer leaders who are authentic, empathetic, and accessible, not authoritarian. Titles mean less than transparency. Loyalty isn't given by default, it's earned through trust, mentorship, and empowerment. Managers must now act more like coaches than bosses. And guess what? When done right, Gen Z can be fiercely loyal, not to a company, but to a mission and a manager who truly sees them. Let's bust some myths. No, Gen Z is not lazy. They're boundary setting. No, they're not disloyal, they're just values-driven. But yes, integrating Gen Z into legacy workplace cultures has been challenging. Miscommunication, generational divides, and resistance to change are real hurdles. But companies that listen, adapt, and evolve are thriving, because Gen Z is not here to destroy tradition. They're here to redefine it. So what does all this mean for the future? In short, more human, more hybrid, more high-tech. Gen Z is leading a workplace revolution built on transparency, tech fluency, and emotional intelligence. They're turning work into a platform for purpose, not just productivity. In 5 years, as more Zoomers enter leadership roles, we can expect flatter hierarchies, remote-first models, and workplaces where authenticity is more valuable than authority. Gen Z isn't the future of work. They're the present. And ready or not, they're reshaping how America works, one Slack message at a time. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to AI Pulse, and share it with someone who's still wondering why Gen Z won't answer their emails. Stay curious, stay future ready, and we'll see you in the next deep dive.